Alright, hello and welcome to the CM14 Gemini Cup Guide. This is a short guide meant to give you either a quick refresher or just a cramming session right before the CM14 begins so that you can create some aces that will be viable. One of the biggest things to note for CM14 is that Guts builds are now pretty viable due to the lower stamina requirement. Quick way that you can just try to drop some Guts into your deck is to take a typical speed, power, wit deck and then just drop the power cards for Guts cards. In this scenario, you would then use Power Sparks. This is a quick and easy way to get a lot of additional Guts and stats without having to dramatically alter your playstyle. Here are some Guts cards that I've seen used most often in the Guts decks. For general tips and tricks for this CM, all corner skills are going to be pretty strong and have carryover potential, especially if they are final corner skills. For this reason, I would recommend that you double circle all mile and style corners that you have access to, as well as trying your best to get that Professor of Curvature skill and any other corner skills you might be able to pick up. Corner Connoisseur is a random corner acceleration skill that is usually not worth taking, but in this track it has about a 20% chance to actually work. I would only take it if you don't have better options, but it is a decent enough gambling skill. Every front should be taking Speed Eater because it is a very strong debuff skill that you can get for relatively cheap. For late and end debuffers, I would recommend picking up Keen Eye. For fronts, early race is crucial. This is because on this course it is difficult to overtake in the mid race, so you want to put a lot of SP into your early race acceleration and positioning to be first for angling and scheming. Fronts in early race will of course be wanting taking the lead as well as groundwork, and if you do have the option to take concentration, you should. However, I would not recommend slotting in specific cards just to get concentration, nor would I recommend picking up Focus, which is the white version of concentration. Focus is not nearly as good, and it's not really worth the skill points. You have your accelerations here with Angling and Scheming and Victoria for Plancha as well. Let's talk about Prudent Positioning Dodging Danger combo. You only want to buy these skills together. You never want to buy any of these skills by themselves. If you get Dodging Danger and you don't get Prudent Positioning, do not buy Dodging Danger. You can use Prudent Positioning or Ignited Spirit Wit to take one half of this combo, and the other half of the combo is Dodging Danger. If you have both halves of the combo, you should buy it because it will help your fronts to position better. As a note, the cards that give Prudent Positioning, such as the Smart Falcon card and the Kawakami Princess card, will also give you Center Stage. I would recommend not taking Center Stage as it is not worth the SP. Pace Chasers are very lobby composition dependent, and they will struggle to beat fronts and end closers. It can work, but you generally have to get lucky with the lobby. If you are running a Pace Chaser, I would recommend trying to see if you're able to run them as a front or end instead. Pace Chasers can take the Budding Blossom from Nishino Flower as well as give Mummy a Hug for their accelerations. They can also run the Taoist Scarlet Power card for neck and neck if you want to gamble a little bit harder, or you can just take Head On as your random acceleration skill. For velocity, all the normal velocity skills count, but crucially you want to make sure that you can get Speed Star. If you don't get Speed Star on your pace, I don't think it would be worth running. Late surges are mostly just less reliable end closers. This is because they don't have as easy access to the back of the pack skills as end closers do. For late accelerations, you can go with Budding Blossom and Let's Pump Some Iron. You can also just use your gamble acceleration of choice, whether this is Furious Feet, Corner Connoisseur on your left, or any of the above. They're all options that you can take, but none of them are really going to be very consistent. For velocity, lates are able to access Full of Vigor because it does activate if you are 5th or below. Lates can also take Rising Dragon, but unfortunately the card that gives Rising Dragon is also a Bamboo Memory card, so I would advise only taking it if you are running an Uma who naturally gets it, such as Kawakami Princess or Fantasy El Condor Pasa. End closers are very strong in CM14 due to their skill access. Straightaway Spurt does happen a little bit late, but it's still effective because you're not going to be finished accelerating by that point. This makes Narita Taishin probably the best Uma in this CM. For acceleration, like I mentioned, Straightaway Spurt and Encroaching Shadow will work. You can also use Let's Pump Some Iron and Louder Trace and Cheer. Now, Louder Trace and Cheer has the requirement that you have to be below 5th place in the first 50% of the race. So if you push forward too much, or if your lobby does not have very many frontliners, you might have difficulty reliably activating this skill. You should also try to be taking Full of Vigor if you can on the Bamboo Memory Guts card, and you do definitely also want Daring Strike. Now, Daring Strike is on the Admire Vega Power card as well as the Mr. CB Wit card, but the Mr. CB Wit card is such a strong card that I would highly recommend using that if at all possible. Here are some examples for Umas that are going to be run in this CM. The Saiyan Sky here has the complete front runner early race package with dodging danger and prudent positioning as a combo together, as well as taking the lead and groundwork. Now this is my Taishin, and crucially I don't have Mr. CB Wit, which means that I can't really run a Guts build because I can't borrow Bamboo Memory. This is a Taishin that does have Daring Strike as well as Professor of Curvature. I did also inherit Budding Blossom and Louder Trace and Cheer just for some additional acceleration options. The Tiketsu is an example of a Guts build here. She did borrow Bamboo Memory and is using the Yukino Bijin Guts card. Unfortunately, her Guts did not get super high, but she is able to take a little bit of advantage of it. She is using Corner Connoisseur as an additional kind of gambling skill, and I can say that it has won her a couple races, but it is not reliable. So again, please only buy it if you are really kind of desperate for additional acceleration. And that's it for my pocket guide. If you're interested in learning more about the CM, such as the whys and hows of some of the advice that I have given, I will link my longer CM guide right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the best of luck making your aces. Bye bye.